Alright guys, so today we are going to be replacing the ignition lock cylinder, the door lock cylinders to one key because the ignition key does not match the door lock keys. So we're going to replace all that and get it matching key, and then also replace both window regulator motors. So what we're going to do first is go ahead and disconnect the battery. So to do that, we're going to pop the hood and then disconnect the battery. Alright, so what we're going to do is disconnect the negative cable on the battery. So move it out the way to where it cannot come back into contact with the battery terminal. Now, we're going to close this for now. And you're going to come over here and you're going to want to turn the lights on. Turn any kind of power source on and make sure that there's no more power to the vehicle. Once we do that, we can go ahead and get inside the driver's seat. And what we're going to do here is pull this off. That just slides right out. And then you have some torque screws holding this cover on. You're going to want to remove those. Mine are not there, so I don't have to worry about that. And then you're just going to want to kind of push in the corners and kind of like wiggle it to get it to unclip from the top portion. Get it to wiggle out. Wiggle the bottom part out. And then you can get the top part to wiggle out also. You might have to take your piece, put it back in, and let the column down to wiggle the top piece out. Okay, so once you get that wiggled out, you're going to want to take your key and you're going to want to turn it, but first you need to get something small like a paper clip or a pick, because there's a small hole. There is a small hole right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the ignition into the way you start it. You're going to turn into start, and then you're going to push a paper clip or pick something down in that hole to release it, and then the cylinder will slide right out. Alright, so I got myself a small pick. I'm going to turn the cylinder. Push it in, and then the cylinder will slide right out.
Just like that.
Yep, you don't worry about it before because you're not using it anymore. Then you're going to grab your new cylinder. So this is a kit, so it comes with a new lock cylinder, the key for it, and the 2 door locks that match the key. All you're going to do is slide the new one in. Alright, so you just slide your new cylinder in, and that's it. Make sure it works. Once you've done that, you can go ahead and put your plastic pieces back on. Okay guys, so what you want to do is go ahead and pop this piece off. It's just clips that hold it on. Pop that off. You're going to want to pop your little lock thing off. Pop it off, because there's actually a screw that goes back here. For some reason mine is missing, but you have a screw here, you have a screw right here, you have a screw on the bottom of the door which is missing, and then you also want to pop this piece off. Wiggle it out, and like I said, I'm going to pull this out. Get your wires disconnected. Looks like someone has put a screw through that because this is broke, so I'm gonna have to need a door panel. But yeah, you're gonna get these screws taken out right here, here, and on the bottom, and then this whole panel will just lift straight up and come out. Some door panels might have a push tab right here, and then another little cap with a bolt right here. Mine doesn't have that, so we'll get this one. Alright, and then you just pull straight up, and the door panel comes off. Okay, so what you got here, this is your vapor barrier. So you don't really want to mess that up. A lot of people just tear it off. You don't want to do that. It's there for a reason. What we're going to do is remove the outside handle. How we're going to do that is we're going to pop that little clip off the rod. The rod comes straight up and out. Then you got a 10mm bolt right here. You take that 10mm out, and then this slides this way and comes straight out. Like I said, while we're in here, we're going to go ahead and replace the window regulator and the door lock cylinder as well. Just pull this straight back. Get your wire harness out. You don't want to mess that up. Get your rod through. So you don't want that pulling on it. And just pull it back enough where you can get to your window regulator and your bolts for your door lock. So there's this little cap right here. You pull that out. You have a 10mm nut right there. There's 3 nuts. There's one up in here, and then there's another one up back here. So you have to look in there to see it. But get those 3 nuts taken off. Get your handle pulled out a little bit to where you can get to this rod here. Pull the clip off. And then just pull your rod straight out and handles out. So, okay, so what you're gonna want to do is kind of get this clip pulled out and around. Kind of annoying. Get it pulled out like this. Come on. There we go. Just be really careful. You don't want to hurt yourself or mess the door thing up, or that might come out. I don't know. There we go. Got that pulled off. Clip is off. And you, bam, there you go. That pulls right out. And then you take your new one, you get this little tab. You gotta bend this little tab up and then pull this clip back to where it comes off. And then pull your pawl off. You don't want to get this backwards. You want to keep the same orientation for the new one. So you put that on the new one just like that, same orientation. Get your clip put back on. Uh-oh. Get your clip back on. Bam, like that. Bend that little tab back down. Be careful not to stab yourself. Cool. Alright, that's not coming off. Then we're going to put our lock pawl back in, or lock cylinder back in, and then get this clip put back around it. Bam. Alright, it's clipped back in. It's not coming out. Put your key in. Make sure it works. It works. And we can go back over here, connect our rod back. Make sure you clip it on, otherwise it will fall back off. Get your handle put back in. Get your nuts put back on. Make sure you put the lock rod back on the lock cylinder and get it clipped on. And then we're going to go ahead, I'm going to show you how to replace this window regulator. Now we can go ahead and move to the window regulator. So the window regulator, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 10mm bolts. These little tabs sit right here on the door, and you got these 10mm bolts right here that clamp the thing to the window itself. You got 10mm bolt here and another one right here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 10mm bolts on the door itself, and then the 2 10mm bolts on the window you have to undo. What you want to do though is make sure the window is all the way up before you do this. Go ahead and loosen the window bolts. Make sure those are loose and the thing moves. And then before we move on, you're going to want to put some tape around the whole thing. A couple rolls of things of tape. So the window won't fall when you go to remove it anywhere. Then go ahead and remove the rest of the bolts. So before we remove this last bolt, let's go ahead and just go ahead and unplug this connector for the motor. Get a screwdriver, push this little tab in, there we go, get that out the way, and then finish removing the last bolt. Alright, so that's removed. You can pick up on that, slide it out. Hopefully this thing doesn't fall. So that's your regulator here. And go ahead and pull it out. There is your window regulator. Well, once y'all figure out which way your damn thing goes, put it in. Get your Where'd it go? Is it over here? I guess so. I thought it was the same thing you'd bring us out. Alright. Get that put on. We'll get all 6 bolts started, but we're not going to tighten them. So we'll get it started. Maybe snug them down. Don't get them tight yet. Just kind of like hand tighten them down until we get everything aligned. Alright, so now we're going to want to plug our window thing back in. Turn the ignition on. Roll it up until it bottoms out on the window. And then we can go ahead and tighten these 10mm nuts or bolts down on the window bracket. Don't over tighten it. You don't want to strip the bolt out or break the window. Not that I think you could break the window, but alright, then you go ahead and tighten all your 10mm bolts down. Alright, now test it and make sure it goes up and down. Oh, before you take off. And then make sure it goes up and down. Alright. I'm not sure why it's going really slow. Might need to grease the tracks on the window itself. I'm not sure, but we'll figure that out. Alright, so now we can go ahead and turn the ignition off. Unplug the connectors. Go ahead and put our vapor barrier back up. Alright, get your vapor barrier put back up. Get your door panel back on. Make sure your door panel is inside all the tabs are inside all the holes. Alright. Yeah, this door panel broke, so I gotta get a new one. But make sure your tabs are all in the holes before you slide it down. Put your screws back in. Put your little grommet back on. Put your switches back in. Get that thing put back on. Get your bolts, all three of your bolts back on. Put a little plastic piece on this. There we go. Put your little door thing put back on. Get your mirror piece put back on. Alright, and then you're good. All that is done. Your door lock cylinder is replaced. Window regulator is replaced. Lock, unlock. Basically, you're going to do the same thing you did on this side over on the passenger side. So I'm not going to show y'all both sides because that's pointless. It's going to be a long video. Basically, you're going to do the same thing you did on the driver's side, on the passenger side. And that is going to be how you replace the ignition / door lock cylinders and then also the window regulator. That's going to be it for this one. Alright guys, well, we got the window regulators replaced, we got the ignition cylinder lock and door locks replaced. So before the passenger window wouldn't work, now the window works. For some reason they're really slow going up. There might be a power issue going to them, I'm not sure. It might be the tracks need to be greased, I don't know. We'll figure that out, but at least the window works now. This window worked, but it was just slow, so it probably wasn't anything wrong with it, but might as well go ahead and replace it for replacing the other one while we're in there. Alright, so the locks work now. Key fits in the ignition and the doors now. Lock, unlock. Was not able to do keyless entry. We gotta look into that. It didn't come with the factory. We tried adding it. It didn't work, so we might have to look into tuning the PCM to have it to get it to work. But yeah, that's gonna be it on this video. Moving on to the next project.